Morning. I thought I would do a video on caffeine. I've been caffeine free sort of for 6 months now. As of October, November last year, I went caffeine free completely. Not to be honest, not totally completely. I still do have hot chocolate, which does have a bit of caffeine, and I also have a type of kombucha, which is the fermented tea, and obviously there's caffeine in tea. But in fact, I use the kombucha with green tea because I just think it's got more health benefits. It's just generally better, and I think green tea actually has a lower level of caffeine than your typical tea, and of course the typical tea's got theobromine in it as well. So yeah, I do still have on the odd occasion the kombucha with green tea, and I'll also go for I've discovered a whole bean decaffeinated coffee bean. Interesting. I don't know how they decaffeinate the whole bean, but they do. And so I've got a blender here, which I use for my whole beans, and I always think kind of freshly ground coffee is much better. I mean, not just because you have a little bit more caffeine in it, because there's still a bit of caffeine in decaf whole bean, but you get a better flavour as well. It tastes fresher, and it's just healthier as well, because at the end of the day it's a bean, and as we know, kind of vegetables and beans and everything else are really good for you. Yeah, so I mean, it all started for me at the beginning of lockdown, when I ended up realising that my well loved coffee shop was going to shut back in March. So I ended up buying some of their beans to use at home, and I bought this bad boy here. And I ground them up myself, and discovered actually you get a perfectly decent coffee from their coffee beans that I bought, and it went from there. Really, I then thought, well, you know what, like if I can, if their coffee is replicatable, then it's not sort of that, or exclusive and special in a way, and so gradually I reduced my caffeine intake over time, and then I went onto the whole bean coffee. That was decaffeinated, and then I gradually reduced that, and now sort of I don't feel reliant on it. If I have water when I get up, it's not a problem. Sometimes I might feel like a bit of decaf coffee, but I don't feel like I need any caffeine. I love the flavour. I love coffee. I love decaf coffee. So I like it for the flavour now. And I know that sort of it was just an interesting challenge for me, basically, just to see whether I could do it. Like one of those things, whether I could live without caffeine, essentially. And I know that I'm probably now more reliant on other things in my life as a result. Having loved my coffee and my caffeine like all my life, from kind of adolescent, teenage years to last year. But it's just, yeah, it's been quite a journey, really. So yeah, no, but if I can do it, then anybody could do it. And I thought it would be more difficult than it was. And yeah, sure, I was sort of grumpy for a couple of days, and I didn't get any withdrawal headaches at all. I was just a bit tired, essentially. But yeah, no, and I found I could come off it, and ever since then, now my good old coffee shop is open again, and I just ask for decaf every time. I just ask them for decaf, and they know I'm decaf. So yeah, so there we go. Just thought I'd sort of give you the update that you don't necessarily need caffeine. People assume you do, but the caffeine industry is a massive multi-billion-dollar industry, and they know how to market, and actually you can be absolutely fine without it in your system. So yeah, I just thought I'd pass the message on. So thank you so much for listening, and have a great Sunday. The clocks go forward today as well, so we'll all be getting used to that as well.